Hello, this video is about drumstick grip. So the various kinds of holding the drumstick. Okay, so let me start. So first we have the traditional grip. And why is it called traditional? Think about tradition, history, olden times. So what we see here is a modern rock drum kit. But of course, before this developed and modified and improved to this extent, there were pieces of it that came from all over the world. Like for example, the cymbals and the toms and the bass. They're all from different parts. And of course, they have all been improvised by different companies and organizations as the years went on, individuals as the years went. But we come back to the simplest of instruments, or the main instrument that we have here, which is called the snare drum, of course. And the snare drum is one of the most crucial instruments, or snare, or it was maybe the tenor drum, because it was a very small instrument, a versatile instrument, a light instrument, and also a very loud instrument, which means it could be used in a lot of places, and especially in Europe during the wars. Okay, so you think about the Napoleonic Wars or all these other battles that that they fought, all the wars that they fought, and soldiers or drummers, soldiers needed drummers. Why? So that they could march in time. They could march to get information, and also not only the drummers give the beat, but also they give signals. So different beats meant different things. So it was a main means of communication before radio existed and all that. So it was a very crucial instrument. And so in that way, that's tradition. And why? Okay, now the traditional grip is held like this. Okay, so right hand is facing down, left hand is facing up. And doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, a drummer should be ambidextrous. So let's take the left hand, the right-handed approach. Doesn't matter whichever, but I believe every drummer should learn to use both sides. Okay. So this is called a traditional method. Why? Because of course, like I said, if you're going to be marching in the field in the middle of battle or in parades, you can't have a heavy obstacle or drum in front of your legs. You know, it'll get in your way. You'll hurt yourself, especially when you're running or marching very fast, and it's an obstruction. So what did they do? They used to have it on the side, just to wear a belt or a strap and put it on the side. And the most comfortable way of playing it is, of course, like this. This is the most easy, natural way of playing. If you play like this, especially when the drum is in an angle, it's quite difficult to play like this. It's not, imagine, with your shoulders up like this for hours, it's not easy at all. So the most comfortable way was to relax the shoulders, the arms, and thus to hold the stick like this. Yeah, kind of relaxed. And you can play like this for hours. A short description, of course, hand is facing this way, and your left hand is facing this way. Stick between your thumb and your index finger, and your middle ring finger and your index finger. Middle finger, sorry. Yeah? And of course, there's a lot of wrist play. A lot of wrist. Now, what happened as time went by is many of these soldiers, they retired, they went home, and of course, if you're a musician, you perform in weddings and programs and celebrations and so on and so forth. And of course, you don't need to now really dance around or move around, march around. So people would sit down and play. And when they sat down and played, they realized also they could play in many other places other than just the snare. They could also move on the kit. Or rather, they started developing the kit. That's how the drum kit started being developed. They brought in more drums, cymbals, so on and so forth, and started modifying and improvising and developing the drum kit to what we see today. And of course, companies have taken it up, professionals have taken it up, and have improved the material to the extent that you see today. Now, when you come to the modern drum kit, as I said, you no longer need to march around with this. Of course, many jazz drummers still use this method because that's how they learned it, and nothing wrong with it. But as a rock drummer or as a new student, this is a more comfortable and easier, natural way, because now you have your match. Now, this is called a matching grip because they match. Okay? It's like a mirror image. Now, when we talk about the matching grip, there are three kinds. The first one is the German grip. So the German grip, think of it as palm down. Why palm down? Because this gives you the ability, this gives your wrist the ability to move up and down a lot. Right? So this is where your power will be coming from, your speed will be coming from, and your movements. So you're going to be holding with your thumb and index finger, and all your fingers together like this, and the source of the power comes from your wrist. So think German, think loud, think strong. Right? So this is what it was basically. So a lot of power. The next one is the French. So the German is facing down, or like, it's like, okay, facing down. The French is facing side, like a handshake. Okay, like a handshake. So side is 90 degrees. So we have it like this, and now not only is it 90 degrees, what it does is the wrist is somewhat limited. It's not as efficient as this, but now it gives room for your fingers. Your fingers to play. So fingers, small muscles, smaller bones, smaller tendons. Smaller means somewhat faster, more flexible. So we have a French. Both of them, fingers like this. Okay? Fingers. Then we have our third method, which is a modification or improvisation of both. You have your German as well as your French 2-in-1. So instead of going 90 degrees this side and 90 degrees here, you're going to have 45 degrees. So what it does is it gives a little bit of wrists and a little bit of fingers in a combination. Or ultimately, as a drummer, you should be able to play all methods as per need, as when it suits you. Right? Alright, so this is the American method. 45 degrees, the best of both worlds, German as well as French. And that's how you hold a drumstick. And all the best. Work hard.